Breathwork changed my life, now I'll help you change yours. In 2013, my world was turned upside down when my partner was murdered. I was thrown into grief, a place I never expected to be. The last decade plus has been a journey of healing, learning what works and what doesn't. Also how to rebuild from the darkest of places. I founded Vidya Breathwork, a method designed to make healing simple and accessible. And now I train facilitators to share this transformative practice globally. Welcome to The Dark Side with Verity, the podcast where we get real about transformation, growth, and stepping into your strength. Let's dive in. Welcome back to another episode of The Dark Side with Verity. We are absolutely cruising through this. So no longer do I resonate with commitment issues because I have stayed consistent with this for, I think we're up to like 28 weeks now. That's good. All of the old stories, be gone. Let's drop in with our breath. This is the important part. Get comfy, close your eyes, soften your eyes wherever you are at. We're doing 3. A big inhale through the nose for 4. And I want you to slowly let it out through the mouth. Breathe it in all the way to the belly. And gently let it go. One more big, beautiful breath, the biggest breath you've taken today. And sigh, soften, let it all go. Find a breath that's easy, natural, and comfortable for you. Aim to breathe in and out through your nose. We have so many filters in our nostrils. This protects us. Just take a moment to see how you truly feel. This has been quite top of mind for me recently. It has been 13 years since my partner passed, which is on the 4th of October. It's a day, look, it's not a day you celebrate, but it's a day that I really am extra mindful of how I spend my time and energy. And to be fair, this should be every day. I am definitely better at this now. But this day, it went from, and my phone actually made a reel, it popped up of like on this day. And it was really nice to go back and see what happens in time passes. Because at the start, I would drink and I would catch up with all of our friends. We would all go down to East Point and there's pictures of like 20, 30 people there. All the families and friends would come down. And it was always like a weird space because I loved seeing everybody. I'd had a few drinks, but it was also like this huge reminder of him not being there. And so then a few years in, I started to feel a lot of pressure with this because I'd stop drinking and then I'd have to go there and have conversations. And it's not that I don't love talking about him. I do. Like, this legend achieved so much in his life and inspired so many people. So that's never a problem. It's just everybody's life move on. People have babies, people break up. That journey of being able to stay in flow felt hard at the start. And there was never any jealousy because I was always so happy for everybody else. But it's hard. It's hard seeing everybody else live their beautiful, happy life with the love of their lives. And so I kind of put a stop to it. After a while, it got too much for my body and I just really had to honor me. And so then I would just do whatever I wanted on that day. It would generally be hang out with my family or my partner at the time. And I just made it really sacred to me. And it was never, I took away all of the pressure of having to do anything. And that felt so much better because I didn't have to look after anyone else. I could just do exactly what I wanted. And then it became more of me just being able to honor him the way that I want to do. It was always something I loved doing. There were pictures of me on a sailing journey in the islands in Bali. There were retreats that I was on in Bali. There were holidays in Adelaide. There were seeing crocodiles. It was a random bunch of pictures, but it just made me smile because my journey to get to this place it's been messy. I didn't know what I was doing, but I just kept going. And I guess that's the important part. You just find space to keep showing up every day, spend time with people who have aligned energy, and get to know yourself. Because the person I am now is very different to the person I was 13 years ago. Because I went through, I always call it a roller coaster. It is a roller coaster, as we know. So it's always nice to be able to reflect. So take the photos, take the pictures, because it gives you something to remember. Because my memory, it's a work in progress, that's for sure. This year, I finally felt called to run an event on this day. In my mind, I thought, I do nothing anyway. Maybe it would be good and maybe it's time that I could offer stuff that I've learnt on this day. And with all of this adventure part in me and needing to be in nature calls really loudly. So when one of my girlfriends, one of my besties asked me to go and visit her in Gove, I was like, yep. She'd spoken about it before. And then I said to her, hey, what are you doing? Do you want me to come out? And look, I didn't really know if I was going to be much of a help or a hindrance. Either way, we would laugh and have fun. So I hope that I was more help, but it was really beautiful to get out of Darwin and see the territory. I grew up, we did a lot of camping and big holidays. I feel extremely blessed for that. Although I don't really remember all of the names of all the places I went, I know we did most of the territory. And so going to Go, I'd always heard that it was beautiful beaches, it was amazing. Also, the flights, like the cost of my flights, I could have gone to Bali 4 times. So that's maybe another reason why I've probably never been there. So it was nice to go and be a help, but also really good for my head. So I work with facilitators and I work with people one on one and I run events. In all of those spaces, I am holding space for people. I am listening, I'm guiding. And then there's the other side of my business, which I've been doing loads on this year, which is learning all the tech, creating done for you systems so that my facilitators can just start teaching breathwork. You don't have to spend loads of time like I've done creating all the back end systems. It's all done for you. So I needed to get out of my head. And it's like my body knew. So I always move from intuition. Probably why I never book holidays in advance that week before I'm going, which I did say, I guess, at the start of this podcast that I was going to get better at that. I will start working on this again now because I just booked that a couple of days before. Going over there and painting, like I actually love painting. Weirdly enough, I'm very much a hands-on person and I like doing because in that space, I don't think, and it reminds me of doing crafts with my nan. We always used to paint and do decoupage. So you cut out pictures of a magazine and stick it onto a box with glue. Maybe that should come back. I'm not sure. But it's a space where I'm just zoned out. And also, she's a great boss. She just told me exactly what to do. So it's not really like I had to particularly think for myself in these moments. And that also brought up other stuff for me. So we painted, we also did yoga on the beach. We then went and looked at these beautiful beaches, which are like, I guess, half an hour out of Go. But in all of this, I was making no decisions. And normally I'm on all the time. And normally I'm on because I've been doing life on my own. I run a business. Sometimes you get exhausted. Like I love my alone time. I definitely want a relationship, a partner, a family. But when you're doing all this on your own, like there's some moments where you're like, what do you mean I have to decide again? So and this is where it happened. So I felt fully safe in her presence. So my masculine side of my body just switched off and I could fully step into my feminine. And she was fine with that because she gets to do this with her partner. So on all of our journeys, I was just cruising along. And so I felt very spoiled. I was there working, but I was also being looked after. We had dinners cooked for us. We went out to dinner. And then I was so lucky to go on a jet ski and visit the islands. Sometimes when people do things, they probably don't understand at the time like how big an impact that will have on your life. Like I don't tell people Josh's death anniversary is coming up because it's just a day. It's a day that I honor myself more than usual. And I generally love to be in the ocean. And so I just, again, didn't have to think. I just got to go have fun on the jet ski, visiting islands and collecting crystals. Like, I don't think you could probably name a better day for me. I'm the happiest when I'm on the ocean. I'm the happiest, I've found out, when I'm collecting crystals in nature. How cool! When you are in flow and when you stay open, you just get to experience life in the best way possible because you meet the best people. And when your energy is aligned with what you actually want moving forward in life, people will come into your life that resonate with you, like good humans. And I don't think there's any bad humans. I just think there's humans that need to spend more time working on themselves. There's humans that do work on themselves. So I just knew that I needed to be out of Darwin for a time. And it wasn't an unhealthy runaway because I had to check in with myself and notice whether that was a past pattern recurring. It wasn't. It absolutely wasn't. It was just that I wanted time and space to get out of my head, out of my business, and go be of help to somebody else. And in turn, I got to receive in the best way possible. I think sometimes through life we can possibly, I really try not to do this, take for granted people that come into our lives and our friends and our relationships because I get it, everybody's busy. But at the end of your life, you're not going to sit there and go, really glad I worked a lot, really glad I looked after myself and didn't spend time doing things different. For me, the quality of life is the freedom to choose. I'm so blessed with the business that I created, the clients that I have, and the facilitators that are in training because I designed it in a way that I can work from anywhere. And that to me was really important because it was originally designed so that I could be a mum. And I love that I took the time to also reflect on that because we can keep raising the bar and keep needing to achieve stuff because my vision my for all of this, it's not done yet, but it's definitely getting there. And that's the most amazing part to reflect on because the more you know yourself, the more you trust yourself, the more you feel safe in your body, things flow. And we're not perfect. We will always have moments where we need to check in, and that is why you support yourself with community. In my recent event, what I noticed was that when people were sharing, they don't have friends or in their friend group where they can have these conversations of where they're operating. Because we can operate at our highest self and be all in alignment and everything's sweet. We can also operate at our lowest self. Those are the times you need those beautiful friends to remind you. What are your goals? What do you want to achieve? Where are you sitting at with this? And there's moments where we just want to like wallow. Cool, do it. But then you'll find a time and space where you're ready to move forward. And if you don't have community to have those conversations. I guess this is where we stay stuck. And I'm always happy to be the weird person that goes first, never knows what they're doing. Find me someone who does, honestly. Even experts, they're only experts because they declared themselves to be. Nobody knows. Everybody has theories. People may have evidence because they've done it themselves. It doesn't make them any better. It just means that they're better with action. Not a better human, maybe better at feeling safe in their own body, maybe better at understanding their emotions. But all of these things can be learned. And if you've been through a lot in life, it's probably more important for you. It may feel a little harder, but life wasn't designed to be easy, because then you get to experience all of the emotions, and that's what they're there for. So 13 years on, I'm pretty fucking proud. And I don't know why some days it just hits more than others. Because when you go through this grief journey, and I feel like I've come full circle, because when I was with Josh, I was happy, my body, myself. I felt loved. I felt safe. Pretty bloody blessed that I got that man at the time I did. Because I've learned since that not everybody is like that. I just had this belief that everybody is a beautiful human, and they are, but everybody has lots of other stuff too. So it's definitely been a journey, but I feel like I'm full circle back to being me, the person that, although I grieve Josh and miss him and still love him, I also really grieve the person that I was. And that's probably the hardest part, because at that time I always thought I believed in myself because he believed in me. Whereas over these years I've had to find belief in myself. And that took a really fucking long time. It's like I had a lot of stuff to prove to myself, when in reality, just being yourself is enough. Bye. That's a wrap for this episode of The Dark Side with Verity. I trust it's given you clarity, sparked awareness, and allowed you to breathe a little deeper, plus a little takeaway to integrate into your life. If this has resonated, I'd love you to leave a 5-star review, of course. More importantly, I would love you to share this with someone who's on their journey and needs a little bit of assistance. Come hang out with me over at Instagram at VerityJoCoonan or The Dark Side with Verity, or start to explore Vidya breathwork at verityjocoonan.co. Until next time, breathe deep, trust the process, and keep expanding. Much love.